Hey, what's up, guys? I've been getting a lot of messages from like family and friends on like how to set up Hermes Agent. I even have some people that are like buying devices for it. So I want to kind of cover a lot of the videos and tutorials I've seen online are like super bloated, so I just want to keep this as quick as possible. Um, so if you have a fresh Mac computer, which is what most people have, the first thing you have to install is this thing called Homebrew right here, Homebrew. Homebrew is basically like a way for you to install packages on your Mac from the terminal. So if you're on a fresh Mac, you'll hit like Command Spacebar, you'll type in terminal, you'll press enter, and then this terminal thing will come up. And if you go to brew.sh, which is a website, they'll have this command that you can paste into your terminal. And when you paste it in and press enter, it'll install Homebrew. The most common place where it breaks for a lot of people that I've seen is there's these things called the Xcode developer tools, and you have to install them separately. So if it fails for some reason, you can use this command xcode-select --install, and that'll install like the Xcode tools. Another thing that's useful to have is OpenCode. OpenCode is like a competitor to Claude Code. It's another like terminal-based coding agent. The reason why I find it's useful to have when you're installing Hermes or any of these like kind of beta agent tools is that in case you need to debug something in a config file, you can actually use OpenCode to do so. So yeah, it's like super good to have. And then OpenCode, they usually have some sort of free tier that you can use depending on the month. So you'll at least be able to get some work done for free without having to pay for like a cloud subscription. So yeah, once you have those two installed, then you actually like run the Hermes installation command. Again, it's kind of like installing Homebrew, so it'll like just install the Hermes agent on your computer. You will get hit with like an onboarding. You don't have to go through the onboarding, but I wanted to show you guys a few things. So, for example, if you type in Hermes model, you can select which model you want to use. And I apologize if this is small. Let me make it bigger. What a lot of people will do is like they'll set up, they'll use Anthropic's like Claude, and like that family of models. The problem is like they're really expensive, and if you're just like messing around with this stuff for personal reasons, like you probably don't need it. So if you want like free or really cheap models, I recommend using OpenRouter or the new portal. So it's NOUS, but it's pronounced new. So like for example, this week on the new portal, you can see that this Xiaomi model called Mimo V2 Pro is free. That's like pretty cool. But then you can also see like there's a bunch of cheaper models that you can choose from. I like Kimi K2.5. I like all of the Quen models. I love Minimax 2.7. And you can see like the pricing here as well. So if you're just fooling around with like very basic like personal automations and stuff, like probably you don't need anything more than Minimax M2.5. And if you're doing like coding and stuff, like you might want to use some of the Anthropic models or even like 5.4, like OpenAI's GPT 5.4 or Codex. So yeah, these are like the most important thing is that you pick the right model. So if you're just doing simple, like I said, any simple like personal automation tasks, grabbing emails, getting you the weather, things like that, like you don't need to spend, all this money on Opus. So that's like a really important thing to know, because once people install it, like they're always like their first complaint is like, oh, this is like too expensive, and like I just spent $20 today. Like, okay, you don't need to do that. Just pick a cheap model. Lastly, once you're inside of Hermes Agent, you can hook it up to Telegram to respond to messages on Telegram. You can hook it up to WhatsApp. You can hook it up to iMessage. If you don't know what to do, you can just be like, how do I hook this up to Telegram? And it'll tell you. And if for some reason your Hermes breaks when you try to restart it, you can open up OpenCode and ask it to debug and fix it for you. When you do open up Hermes, you'll see like all of your available tools. It comes basically built in with a lot of the tools that you'll need, especially like for browsing for opening up browsers and things like that. And then these are the available skills. Now I have some of my own skills in here that you're not going to have on default or by default. But you can kind of develop your own skills. And every skill is basically just an MD file with like a set of instructions. So yeah, I mean this is like where things break, generally speaking. So if you follow all these very simple instructions, you should be able to get your own Hermes agent up and running. And when in doubt, you can always ask it how you can do any more further things that you want to do. All right, guys, I try to keep that as fast as possible. Let me know if you found this helpful.